welcome back to another episode of LegendCraft. Here we are in episode 12. Because, goodness gracious. It's episode 12. Wow. Right? Episode 11 just came out, I think. I hope it's not another 2 months. So I think today we're going to be working on getting this part of the tower set up first. Because this is going to be the part of the tower that sits on the ground. This is actually going to be a tower that sort of floats in the air, and it is also underground. So, first things first, I'm the realist. Second thing second, I'm going to fill in these walls with the smooth stone, make the walls underground out of this smooth stone. And yes, this is supposed to be sort of textureless, so that it contrasts with this big wool. I was thinking tube, but it might be a sphere. Ow. Might also terraform the mountain to come across a little bit like that. Don't know about that yet, because I might want an easier way to the bottom beyond just, dropping in. So this is hopefully going to be pretty easy. I have made some modest improvements to certain specific things. One of the things I'm not going to show you because I don't know, I just get weary about showing people certain things about my computer and stuff like that. The LegendCraft logo for the server has changed, but also I have a server pack now that, as you can tell, the sugarcane is indeed three-dimensional, which makes it look really, really cool. There are also some other modest improvements. Probably be best if I went to the Nether to show you what they are. I'm still running Optifine's connected glass texture, because this is much better than the Vanilla Tweaks one. The Vanilla Tweaks one gets rid of the edges, which kind of sucks, because the edge of the glass looks nice, but having the connected textures in the middle makes a lot more sense to me. And with this, this glass would have little lines coming out of it, and that does not a good glass looking thing make. It looks just very starch and ugly, and doesn't really allow for any good designs that aren't at least just one high across, because across it's got it, but vertically it didn't. And that was why I was like, well, I can't have a texture pack connected glass, because I don't think it really functions how I like the Optifine connected textures to work. Because this connected texture and this connected texture, genius. Just really, really good. The resource pack one, bleh, nasty, no good. Now, I am being a little bit harsh on it, but because it got rid of these things, the glass was almost invisible, and that is not a good look. Invisible glass, when it's like this, is impossible to look at. Like, I think the glass blocks are the things that got the good connected thing, but the panes, like, you could see all of the panes going up, because that's how the water column stays in place, is because, these are the clear glass panes so that they appear invisible, and that's the way I like it. Now, another one of the changes is quieter mobs. So, quieter dispensers, quieter cows, quieter nether portals, I think. One of the textural changes that I really like. Yeah, so quieter nether. obviously, and then I'm going to just use my flying technique. Having a blacker nether brick looks really cool. No? Okay. I also moved this little walkway down here so that it's a straight shot as opposed to turning a corner and having to come up. Yeah, so I think those textural changes are really nice looking and, you know, exactly what the server needed, to be quite frank, because I was, you know, I was sort of holding out and whatnot on getting a texture pack because I wanted there to be a texture pack, and unfortunately one of the only ways you can do that is by using a Dropbox link for servers, which a little bit unfortunate, but you know, that's just the way it is right now. Not really much you can do about having the texture pack not be on Dropbox, but the way I solved it was by using my own personal email as opposed to using the one that I use for music and stuff like that, because I have a Dropbox that I use for music, and I was like, well, I don't want to keep a permanent texture pack file inside the inside the Dropbox when I take a lot of files out frequently and, you know, delete things and stuff like that. If it's in my own personal Dropbox, because you get up to 2 gigs free with a standard Dropbox, like just regular, alright, I'm not going to go to Dropbox Business, I'm not going to do Dropbox Plus, just regular Dropbox, you get 2 gigs for free. And I feel like this is perfect because this email that runs this Minecraft account is used not for too much more than really this. It's used for video games and lots of other different stuff. And, you know, my school email account is the one that has the music and stuff on it. So, yeah. But the second channel where the music goes up, that is an entirely different Gmail that, you know, I could use for Dropbox, but I don't, because I don't have any real reason to do so yet. There's no, like, I don't have a Patreon, I don't plan on getting one. But if I were to do something like that, that's probably where the music would be, is probably in the Guardian and Sentinel Studios one. Here's a plug for that. Go subscribe over there if you're not already, because that's probably where I'm going to be posting LegendCraft music over there. It already has Outside, which is split into 2 parts. The video is not split into 2 parts, but the you would have heard it last episode where I wrote this piece called Outside, and it's got part 1 and part 2 was supposed to like resemble. Part 1 is, you know, the outside, the tranquility of it, the real nice, you know, say looking like Minecraft outside, like, oh, look over there, there's flowers, and that would be a great place for a flower farm. My goodness, there's cornflowers and daffodils and pink tulips and orange tulips and what appear to be rose bushes, and there's, like, you know, so that doesn't look too bad to have a flower farm. Distracting me from the point that I was trying to make. The second part of Outside is the inner darkness that's sort of creeping in. That's like the I am the Dark Knight. I am Batman. You know, that sort of a aesthetic. But, you know, then when we all sort of get out of this inside that we have to deal with, then we get to go back out to the beauty of the outside, and that's what my piece was supposed to represent. But I sort of disqualified myself for not making the videos for YouTube earlier, which again is on me. Alright, so I think I've been waffling on for long enough. Let's get to actually building the sheep tower. yeah. So, as you just saw, the time lapse, you know, just finished. So, yeah, we are working on this thing right here, the Rainbow Tower. And I know what you're saying. It's not rainbow. Well, not right now, of course. Yeah, it's not rainbow as of this current moment. But it will be rainbow soon enough because, what I have in my head is that it's going to be a rainbow collage where we use wool to, go up in a spiral and rainbow and just essentially, PC, RGB, vomit barf. Things like that. Okay, so, we have that. Okay, then we got something like this. We gotta fill in the holes and add emphasis where emphasis needs not be. Yeah, so I'm gonna build up these walls and I don't know, talk about stuff, I guess. How's your day been? Leave a comment on what you think. How's your day been? I mean, most of the days lately have been pretty morbid about certain things and other aspects and just scary nonsense, really. It's really scary out there recently. But that's okay. It's a good scary. It's a scary for good change, hopefully, and not for some bad change. I do hope that we get the change that we are oh so desperately looking for. But, things have been the way they have been for a while, and it needs to change, certainly. How do we go about that change? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not the one who should be telling people how to change or, what needs to be changed or whatnot. I'm not the person to say that. I'm just me, and, that's who I am. But me enacting change, that's not who I am. I know I'm starting to sound like the neutral people from Futurama, where it's, we have no position one way or the other, and yada yada blah blah blah. I haven't really seen that scene, I just know it exists for some reason, because it's hilarious. It's hilariously neutral. But, yeah, I haven't really been outspoken about this sort of subject, and I mean, if you know what time it is, time of recordings it's June 1st. Oops. Well, because of the whole pandemic thing, time has sort of been irrelevant and lost on many people, because they don't have jobs. I mean, I don't have a job right now. My job is making entertaining things, sort of. I don't have any income stream right now. Not even, unemployment yet. Which I'll probably be getting at some point. But, yeah, it's a little bit of a scary world out there. Especially if you're a person of color, and it's hard because police are just berating everyone, anyone who's trying to protest, and they just want you to submit, and that's definitely not the way forward. That's just wrong. I hated how I'm silent on Facebook because I'm scared of what people in my family are going to think of me posting that, and I'm honestly not brave enough to talk about it there, but I feel comfortable in this place right now that I can talk about it. Not that that's right, but it's just what I am currently okay with in terms of speaking out against racism. Yeah, it's about George Floyd and all the protests going on. I stand with you because Black Lives Matter. And I know I'm just, just a person who's playing Minecraft, all in my room, alone, making music, stuff like that. Standard stuff, but, everyone matters. Everyone's life is important, regardless of whether or not you think it is, because it's a human life, and human life is very, very valuable. It's to be human should be to value life, any way, shape, or form. It should not be, the value of your life should not be determined by the color of your skin. Nor should it honestly be determined by your paycheck, because having your life be valued by what sort of work you put in is a little bit of a BS concept. Because there are plenty of people who work minimum wage jobs that have now become essential workers who, because of their contributions and their sacrifices almost every day, especially during this pandemic, due to their sacrifice, we can have conveniences, and that's not something that we should be taking lightly in terms of what it is that we sort of take for granted. We shouldn't take for granted that people working minimum wage jobs would always want to work minimum wage jobs. I mean, certainly most people who work those minimum wage jobs don't want to always be working those minimum wage jobs. I mean, certainly they would like to earn more income. And if your minimum wage isn't a living wage, then there's something definitely wrong with the economic system that you're in, where minimum wage is not essential for living. It's less than that. I hate that I'm a white guy, saying. And once again, I hate that I'm a white guy just talking about this, but I feel like it's important that we talk about this, and I don't want to be seen as, oh, you didn't have action because you didn't speak out on social media. Well, I didn't speak out on social media, one, because I don't have a huge social media following on Twitter, where I could rant about this comfortably, because none of my family follows me on Twitter. In fact, I don't have really anybody following me on Twitter, so if you want to follow me on Twitter, the link has always been in the description. Dang it, I broke a bed. Luckily, I think I always sleep in this one, so. Excuse me, respawn point set? There we are. But, yeah, it's sort of been weighing on me now. And hopefully I can get the episode out in a reasonable amount of time. Yeah, it's terrible, the treatment of people of color in our society. Like, yeah, there's a lot of protests and riots and lots of people in support for it, but the people who who are essentially against the riots, and I can understand why they would be, because yeah, it's breaking stores and whatnot, But the stores have insurance. They can always, you know, replace stuff. They can always regain yada yada blah blah blah. You know, they can replace items. They can replace glass. They can do whatever it is that they need to do to recover. You can't recover a life, and I hate that people think that property is more valuable than a person. That's really quite degrading to anybody who just, you know, to anybody who's died due to police brutality. It's an absurd joke to say, "Oh, well, this store's property is way more valuable than a life." No, corporations have gotten greedy and fat over the years. They have gotten just, non-caring about the consumer typically. They don't really care. The only thing they care about is their bottom line, which ain't right. It's not right. It isn't. It's disgusting, and it's, degrading that people of America would value the... Oh, man. The pink sheep is right there. Hi, Nala. Okay. Oh, gosh dang it. Come with me, Nala. It's degrading that people would, value a company more than they value a person's life. So, away from the heavy topic and back to your regularly scheduled episode, or rather, irregularly scheduled, because I am terrible at making stuff on time. So, hopefully this comes out in a timely fashion, but it might not. Well, I kind of lied. There's not going to be any more to the episode. The episode was already 25 minutes long and, getting longer. So I'm going to leave this episode here. If you liked, leave a like. Leave a comment in the comments below. And remember to subscribe and ding the bell. And I will see